Hi, everyone. I'm Matt Gash with SoundersFC.com here in Columbus, Ohio, alongside the voice of the Sounders, Arlo White. Sounders facing the Columbus Crew on Saturday, and it's a Crew team that has only given up 2 goals in their last 6 games, and their 6 games unbeaten.
Yes, and the Sounders did have that joint longest streak going in Major League Soccer of 6 games unbeaten, as did the Houston Dynamo, but both sides lost, so Columbus have the longest streak going at the moment, and they are pretty good at home. I think a lot of their success, Matt, has been based on defensive stability. Now, we saw a team that didn't concede a goal for 414 minutes at one stage during the season before Tony Charney managed to score a very good goal for Toronto FC, but they've had stability back there. Chad Marshall, very good player. Big, bulky centre-back who's played international football for the US men's national team, obviously. Julius James is an interesting one because the two of them have played every minute together at centre-back. This is a guy from Trinidad and Tobago. We've just come from DC, where he was waived from in the off-season. Now, you think DC is a team, okay, they beat Seattle, but they've conceded 17 goals in 8 games. And Julius James was deemed surplus to requirements. And here he is, marshalling up a defence with Chad Marshall, no pun intended. And they've only conceded 5 goals in 7, so he must be a fairly decent player. However, when we're talking about their defence, they did give up a goal against Vancouver last week, and I think that's a significant moment in Major League Soccer because Omar Salgado scored his first goal as a professional, and he's going to score many, many more. It wasn't enough for Vancouver. They lost by 2-1, but a great moment for Salgado and a portent of things to come, I think, from the Vancouver striker. And he almost got a second, were it not for the former USL sounder, Josh Gardner, who cleared one off the line late on. So, yes, they've been brilliant at the back. They've been sturdy. They've kept out most attacks. But, as Vancouver showed earlier on, they're not impregnable, and the Sounders might fancy having a go at Crew Stadium on Saturday night, especially bearing in mind they're coming off a 4-0 victory there last season.
And Ziggy Schmidt, you can't talk about Columbus Crew without talking about the connections between Ziggy Schmidt and the team. And obviously there are some players that figure prominently for them that were products of Ziggy Schmidt coming to Columbus.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Ziggy won, as we all know, an MLS Cup here in 2008. Schelotto was his general on the field, wasn't he? And Ziggy talked so highly about the Argentine who was released at the end of last season, gone into retirement, and what a great player he was. But he's no longer around at the Columbus Crew. But there are, as each year goes by, fewer and fewer players from the Ziggy era remain, but there are 2 very prominent ones, and they are Robbie Rogers and Eddie Gavin. Now, Rogers was a star in 2008. He'd just come from a spell in Holland at Heerenveen, and he played brilliantly that season. I think he struggled to match that and to live up to those standards in the subsequent seasons. But we're just seeing signs that Robbie Rogers is getting back to his best. He'll be on the left-hand side, we imagine, at Crew Stadium on Saturday night. He scored 2 goals already this season. Eddie Gavin, perhaps on the right-hand side, although he has played a few games in the centre of midfield, they tend to play something like a 4-2-3-1 formation. Gavin, unbelievably, is 24 years old, and he spent 3 years at the New York, New Jersey Metro Stars, who have not been in existence. They changed their name years ago to the New York Red Bulls, didn't they? So he came into the league at 16 years of age. It's absolutely incredible. So he's a very good player as well. So those 2 wide guys, Robbie Rogers and Eddie Gavin, they're from the Ziggy era. He knows them very well. So the 2 Seattle fullbacks better watch out because they're pretty good players.
And another one of the players that has experienced a lot of success that didn't play under Ziggy Schmidt, the guy they've got up top and the guy that scored a handful of their goals.
Yeah, Emilio Renteria, a Venezuelan striker. He scored the last 3 goals that the Columbus Crew have managed, and that includes both against the Vancouver Whitecaps last week, which was very good, and it was a 2-1 victory. He's a good striker, there's absolutely no question about that, and he'll be sort of on his own up front, trying to win balls and hold them up and wait for the cavalry charge from midfield to come through. What I think is a really interesting subplot tomorrow is Jeff Cunningham, who's still on 132 MLS goals. And I don't mean that to sound dismissive, it's just that he's been there a while now, since he was at FC Dallas last year, and he scored 11 goals there, including 2 penalties at Pizza Hut Park against the Sounders. And he's 1 shy agonizingly of Jaime Moreno's MLS record. Now, he started the opening game of the season for Columbus in a 3-1 defeat at DC United, and he hasn't been in the starting 11 ever since. Because they play one up top, he has other options, including Mendoza, the Peruvian. So it seems that Cunningham is slightly down the pecking order here. And I just wonder if this is going to be a bit of a drama for the rest of the season. Let's hope it goes beyond this weekend anyway from a Sounders perspective. But he's been a very good player in this league. And to get to 133 goals whenever he does it, and maybe, who knows, gets to 134, that'll be a magnificent feat for him. We hope he stays on the bench tomorrow, presuming he doesn't start. And we're hoping if he does come on, he doesn't get number 133. But it's just something to look out for because he's been a very good player in this league for a number of years now.
It's a 4:30 kick from Crew Stadium. You'll be live on Kong 616 and 97.3 Cairo FM. You can catch it all there. This has been the Scouting Report for SoundersFC.com.